Welcome back to Play Tessie. It's episode 43, and if you're listening on drop day, it's February 23rd. Episode 43 is the bullpen episode of some of the best relievers the Red Sox have ever seen. It's Pat Light and Garrett Richards, both absolute Red Sox legends, and we all know it. This is the official podcast of Howling at the Moon, which is what my dog does literally all day these days. We don't walk him enough when it's cold, so he literally just stares out the window howling. But it's also known as the official Red Sox podcast of WEI. Remember, wherever you're listening, Apple, Spotify, Odyssey app, hit that subscribe button, rate 5 stars, helps us out a ton, and subscribing gets you that notification when episodes drop. Also, remember, check us out on YouTube and hit that thumbs up, and then subscribe to the WEI channel. Follow us on that, what's the word? Playlist. Yep. So we've got to, dude, I will never know the word. I will never know the word forever. But
hey, as long as people know that they can navigate to our set area, that's all they need.
Just go watch our videos, man. You'll be happy. Just watch the videos. I'm stringing another Arnold Palm today, so that's worth watching alone. Oh, it's already gone. Okay, well, I don't need to tell you what I did to that one. But we've got a very special guest today to join me, Coop, Sammy, and Pat. Christian Arcand from WEI is with us, and we have him on an interview. We just recorded it, and I'm literally just going to jump us right into it. So without further ado, Christian Arcand. We are joined by Christian Arcand, producer for Jones and Mego with Arcand. He also occasionally hosts Red Sox Pre-game show on WEI. Christian Arcand, how you doing, man?
Doing very well. Nice to be on with all you guys from all the various places that you are right now. I'm a big fan of your podcast, so I'm glad you guys called me.
How does it feel to be making your play debut? There's been a few guests, but you're definitely we're not in the double digits, so you're one of the first that we've had.
Wow.
We're definitely not double digits, right, guys?
No, I mean, like it's you and Pap right now, and Bradfell.
Okay. I mean, listen, it's a nice Mount Rushmore to be on, I'd say, in terms of your first couple of guests. What I like about the title is, I don't know if you know this. Did you know that Tessie is like an old-timey barbershop quartet song? Did you guys know that?
Yes. Yeah.
Like the original
Tessie.
I
didn't know that, yeah.
And then incorporate it into a play, I think, at one point. And
it's about a parrot. The song's about a parrot, and the parrot like is going to tell the wife that the husband's cheating or something like that. I read about this once. And then Dropkick Murphys did their song. But, yeah, Tessie, where they're singing about Tessie, and they're asking Tessie the parrot not to tell the wife that I think that's how it goes. Something like that. The parrot has a secret, and the guy's telling Tessie, don't tell the secret.
Such wholesome beginnings.
Yeah, really.
Everything used to be so wholesome, and then the Dropkick Murphys got to town, and then we started winning World Series. Now the whole town burning down.
Yeah, super wholesome. Like, you used to just be worried about a parrot outing you. Now it's just like your Instagram likes outing you.
Oh, yeah. All sorts of – there's what sorts of ways to get out of these days. Speaking of Dropkick Murphys, did you guys ever go to McGreevy's? Are you guys of the age that you used to hang out at McGreevy's? Anybody?
No, so was that killed by COVID?
Yes. Everything on that street got killed by COVID. There was McGreevy's and Whiskey's and Lear and like all these. Lear wasn't that cool, but like the other ones were all like pretty cool bars. And McGreevy's was a great sports bar. Louis C.K. before he got canceled came and did like a surprise comedy set down in their basement once.
He did a lot of surprise things.
Yeah, and it was I knew some people who worked there, and it was a really cool place. And this guy Pete Nice, who was part of an old rap group in the '90s called Third Base, was one of the initial investors, and he's like this big baseball memorabilia dealer. So I used to love hanging out there, but yeah, COVID killed it.
Yeah, no. So we actually, the way we sign off every podcast, we do this thing called Nuff Said because of Nuff Said starting that very bar.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right, Arcand, we were listening to Wednesday's Big Q at 2. So that's where we want to go with this. And you guys, Cooper, do we have the audio for it, or are we just going to go right in?
I got the audio for it if we want to play it.
Yeah, we should play it because maybe people haven't heard it. But yeah, we'll jump in.
Are you going to make me listen to Jones now again? You know, down here?
Yeah. I apologize, man.
The players don't want to be there. Kenley Jansen was 50-50. He was going to get on the flight or even be on the team. He's outspoken about the situation, as is Rafael Devers. I don't think the manager wants to be here. They all think they're going to suck this year. The losing hasn't even started yet. And so, no, they're not worthy of the owner's time. It doesn't sound like they're worthy of the manager's time. They're not worthy of the team's time, meaning players on the team. How are the Red Sox worthy of my time? And so, no, they're not worthy of my time. And I have trouble seeing what would make them worthy of my time.
So basically, the question leading to that answer was clear: the Red Sox worthy of your time? And you guys chime in at the end, but I want to give you a chance here to sort of expand on what you have to say about that one.
Well, the results of that poll, I think, were like 85% saying no. And, I mean, usually we get about 300-400 people voting in our polls. This one we had like 600 or 700, I think. It was more than usual. I know that. So it was a question that resonated with the audience. It was a question that we knew was going to be, tensions are high with this team right now and fans are upset. So we knew that we were going to get a good reaction from that poll. That's sort of how we set them up. We try and do something that'll generate a debate. And usually what we try and do is ask a question that's going to get like a good split. But we thought for this one, fans are mad. And the way I sort of looked at it was, I don't think that John Henry's listening to our show every day or checking our polls out on Twitter or any of that stuff. But, maybe someone in that front office might be, we're the flagship station. So maybe there's somebody there. And, it's something they should see. They should see that this is a reflection of the fans. And, we kind of feel this way too. Jones was expressing it there, but I mean, it's something that we're all kind of in agreement on. I mean, we all sort of said no too. And listen, I'm a lifelong Red Sox fan. I always have been. And, even before I started working in this field, I was at Fenway all the time. And, to see what's happened these last couple of years and the ambivalence that they have towards it and the things they're making guys like Sam Kennedy go out and say is just, it's upsetting. It's an upsetting time to be a Red Sox fan. And I was sort of hoping that through that poll and through that discussion of it, and we ripped the team pretty hard. I mean, we've been going pretty hard at them since this offseason started, really. And, it's just, it was, in my opinion, I thought that maybe it could sort of be a vehicle to opening the eyes of some people over there on Yawkey Way and maybe showing them, hey, this isn't just the media saying this. We are saying it, but it's not just us saying it. The fans are really reacting negatively to the way that you're running the team right now. And this seems unprecedented to me. Like last summer, that Dodgers parade and like all that stuff, we were there. We were at Fenway a lot. We did our show at Fenway, once or twice a week throughout the whole season. And that wasn't the only time that happened. I mean, it was the only time there was a whole fucking Mardi Gras parade, but like, it wasn't the first time that the opposing team's fans just completely took over the park. And, they didn't do much at the trade deadline. It's the second year in a row. They hadn't done much there. They haven't really done anything since Schwarber. And like that sort of fed into it too. And then to go into this season, cutting payroll again. I mean, fans are just fed up with it. They're fed up with it. And we're going to reflect that.
I think they heard you because they went out and signed Joely Rodriguez. So it must have worked.
Shout out Joely. So you're a no on this. They are not worthy of your time as of today.
Not right now. I mean, I still think that there's there's all these free agents just sitting on their ass right now that don't have deals, which I'm still surprised by. I'm surprised Snell, Montgomery, Bellinger. It's just those three right there. All three of those guys should be on rosters. And this isn't the first offseason that's happened. Like, I remember Manny Machado and Bryce Harper not getting signed until like the season started, and those were years ago. And that sort of speaks to the ambivalence about it. It's not just the Red Sox. Like, it seems like owners across the league are really, not all that concerned about making their team better. They're more concerned about getting good deals and trying to drive the market down. And I think that's what this is all about. And that sucks. I think that's contributing to the fans being ambivalent about it too, which is why you get an 85%, not worthy of my time vote on a poll like that.
Would them signing Jordan Montgomery or any one of those Boris guys, would that change how you feel about it?
It would. I would think it's a good move. I think it's a good move to sign Montgomery. I think signing Snell would be a good move. I don't know if everybody agrees with that. Snell was just a Cy Young winner, and Montgomery was an instrumental part of that World Series run for the Rangers. And the Red Sox rotation sucks. So it's like, yeah, I think that would go a long way. It would go a long way with me. I don't know. Jones probably wouldn't like it still, but like that would be when with these guys still out there, that gives me some hope that something might happen, or that they may wake up and realize, hey, we're losing our grip on our fans here. And that's just not something that the Red Sox and their ownership should ever be thinking. So I don't have my hopes up real high. I'm not holding my breath or anything, but I do think there's moves they could make that would change the perception. Absolutely. It would change my perception. I think it would change the fans too.
Yeah. I love questions like this, and I like discussing them here because when we do this podcast 3 days a week, and we are so deep in the weeds with this team that you get lost sometimes that you're that deep. So I want to kick it to the guys on the show. I'll start with you, Sammy. Like, we're taking like 3 steps back here. Like, is this team worth your time?
My time specifically, sure. But if you're a casual fan of this team and you come check in and you see the players are pissed off, the former players are pissed off, the fans are extremely pissed off, the owners don't really care. You got Sam Kennedy out there like a meat shield every day, and he's laughing through it now. He's not even – I don't even know where his head is at. I kind of starting to feel bad for the guy, but not really. How do you sell someone on this team right now? There's nothing. Oh, and I kind of, buried the lead right there. They're very clearly the 5th best team in the division. So there's really not much to be excited about. You can check out Rafael Devers, who's maybe the 25th best bat in Major League Baseball, and Costas, who's a fun rising star. What else? You got no premier pitchers that you got to tune in and watch. I like Bayo, but do we really think he's an ace? I don't. Maybe a nice number 2, number 3. Just a really, really tough sell. There's no hook right now. So sadly, I'd say no, not really worth the time of the casual fan, I'll say. Hardcore, of course, you're going to tune in. But for the casual fans, no.
Yeah, I agree with Arcand. I think for the fans that actually kind of give a shit about the team, a Montgomery signing does go a long way. And the ripple effect from a Montgomery is so kind of like underestimated. You plug Montgomery in, that means that Whitlock and Houck are now out of the rotation into the bullpen. It lengthens the bullpen. Feels like they're going to trade Kenley. Like, the ripple effect just carries through all the way to the closer role. And I think for the fans that do genuinely care and kind of know who Jordan Montgomery is, kind of where they stand and everything, that kind of signing would go a long way for fans. Am I saying they win the division with Montgomery? No, of course not. But are they like a sneaky, like if everything kind of falls their way, a wild card contender? Yeah. And I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. But I do have a follow-up for Arcand. So as of this point, they're not kind of like worth your time, like worth anyone's time, should invest in it. If you have to pick one thing that is worth following, whether it be a player or a storyline this year, where or who are you leaning?
Probably the Cassis stuff. I think that's pretty interesting. He's one of the only guys that was on that top 100 list. I forget it was MLB.com, whatever it was. He was like 97th. And I like Cassis. I mean, he's a weirdo, but like I do like him. And I think he's if they can not piss him off too much with terrible offers, I think he could be a building block for the future. And they don't have a lot of those. They're kind of dicking around with Bayo too. He didn't have a great year last year. I feel a little bit better about Cassis than Bayo at this point. I'm hoping to see him sort of take that next step this year. But hearing that and hearing the way he kind of shrugged off the offer and was like, oh yeah, it was a terrible offer. There's no way I was going to take it. It's just, he's very matter of fact about it, which you don't often hear with these younger players. A lot of times they're just sort of like happy to be getting offers like that and happy to be getting extensions. But Cassis is confident and he sort of, knows that he's good. He knows he's in a position of power, I think, on this team, since they just have so little, guys to get excited about. You're probably going to sell a lot of Cassis jerseys this year. That's sort of what I think. So I'm interested in that. I'm interested in him. I think that, he's a good player. And I don't know. I wanted to say I was interested in the bullpen because I like the bullpen from last year. But after they traded Schreiber, they're looking to trade Martin. You just said it. They're looking to trade Jansen. It'd be nice if they got Montgomery and they could kick Houck out to the bullpen too. I think they're planning on having him pitch out of the bullpen anyway, right? I may be wrong about that, but
so,
yeah. So,
right now he's starting, but I think he's not seen as in the top 5. So I think most expect him to go there.
Okay, I'd rather he's in the bullpen too, honestly. I mean, I think that would be better. But if they do all that and then they do it so they can trade Jansen and feel better about it, that sucks. It seems like no matter what they do, the bottom line is always the most important part of it. The on-field product is very secondary, maybe not even secondary sometimes, but it's mostly about, getting rid of the Chris Sale contract or moving on from the Verdugo contract. Or in Schreiber's case, like, he's cost controlled. That I don't even know what that one's about. They don't have any pitching prospects, I guess. They wanted someone in the minors, but like, you end up with a 23-year-old single A guy, like, I just feel like it's very scattershot right now.
And to piggyback off of what you just said, shit's bad right now, and there's no sign of change in sight. You've got the situation with Casas and Bello. Like you said, they're dicking around with both of them. We've seen this movie before. Betts, Bogarts, you can go as far back as Lester. So that I don't love. Gordo and I, we disagreed on that. Gordo, you like that they're at least talking to them. I get that. For me, it's just an instant replay of what we've already seen. And then they're selling off of the expiring deals, which, might be smart business, but that's not a contender. So this might not even be the end of it. We might have to do this song and dance again next year. So that's even more reason to not want to watch this team if you're a casual fan. Why would you? It's a shit show and it's going to be going on for a long time, no matter which way you slice it. So how do you sell this team? What do you sell? Casas, he's an interesting
experience. That's what you sell.
The 97th best player in the league. Come see the 97th best player at Fenway Park when you drink your $13 Bud Light that's a little warm already. I don't.
What's the best move they've made? I mean, honestly, the best move they made all offseason is Theo Epstein.
He got his Pearl Jam too.
Yeah.
So can I give my devil's advocate a little bit here? Or
well,
you want to go first?
Like, I'm a bit of a dissenter. Like I'm like Ben, the school teacher from Fever Pitch, where like I'm the hopeless romantic at this point. I understand it's going to be a crappy season, but it is a happy place for me. So like I'll go. Maybe I'll leave before like the middle of the 8th because Sweet Caroline playing when you're down 24 runs, not fun. And I feel like that's going to be happening a whole lot. But it's just kind of like the Red Sox were here before John Henry, and this is kind of how I've just started looking at all this. They're going to be here after. They are a fixture in the city, like whether it is just Fenway being a neighborhood part of the city or the Jimmy Fund itself and that kind of being a beacon of it. And this is playing directly into what they talk about when they're selling the Fenway experience. And I hate that I have to go this route.
Don't fall for it,
No, I know, but like, what else am I to do? Like, this is just like the billionaires like playing with us, where it's kind of like, all right, do I just want to sit on my thumb all summer and not do anything, or
going to Fenway Park is half the battle. It's all no. I'm just saying, like,
that's true.
Yes,
MBTA is going to keep me away.
For them, no. I'm saying for them, they have to worry about getting people to fill the seats. They also have to worry about people watching on TV. So like
that's true.
Covers one, but then you got the other.
And work. The boycott in my mind just doesn't work.
Boycott. Not too many fans that show up.
And I don't know if you guys get the Instagram ads all the time right now, but they look like a minor league ball club with the amount of special event days that they are doing. Like, it's absurd at this point of like what they're doing. Like I started like a tacos like hat night.
Coop,
no idea what that's about.
Coop, you're in NorCal right now. When I lived out there for a few years, the Oakland A's, which are still the Oakland A's, they would do a thing called Mathletics, where all you got to do is print out either 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade level math problems. There's no way to verify that you're in that grade. You write in the answers, send them to the Oakland A's, and they send you 2 free ticket vouchers for any game you want other than Red Sox, Yankees, and Giants. And you just pick one. Red Sox should do that.
I don't, Arcand, did you have box tops as a kid?
Box tops?
Yeah. Was that ever a thing for you? I don't know if these guys know what I'm talking
about.
I remember box tops. Yeah.
Yeah. So this used to be a thing with, I don't know if it was just Massachusetts schools, but at the top of like different packages of like just food that you would get at the grocery store, they would have
cereal boxes and stuff.
Yeah. And if you cut out a bunch of them, you would get like a free book or something, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe we can crowdsource that with Sam Kennedy the next time we have him out in the public and see if we can figure that out. But I'm at the point where I'm just like, I know I'm expecting the worst. So if I just go to and show up at Fenway and I see a win, like that's a plus for me. Like that's all I can ask for at this point. Other than that, I'll probably going up to Portland.
Yeah, and Coop, like people like you, and I'm, I'll be at games too. I mean, Yeah, I think people are still going to want to go for like a nice day at Fenway, or there's the families from New Hampshire and Vermont and Maine and all that who come down for the one game a year, and they come up from Rhode Island and, that sort of thing. And that's not going to stop, I don't think. But in terms of like on a day-to-day ticket selling basis, there's a reason why there were so many Dodger fans coming in last year. There's a reason why the Mets fans filled the place up. It's because Red Sox fans weren't as interested and were selling their tickets. Like that's the long and short of it. I'd imagine season tickets are going to go down. NESN subscription, whoever said that, you're absolutely right about that. It's $35 a month for that NESN app. People are going to cancel that. They're not going to spend that on this team. And that's,
had it.
What?
It's a ridiculous price. Who has that?
I mean, that's like 3 times more expensive than HBO.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, how I just kind of thought of this. What is the over under before we see them start discounting NESN Plus? Because you kick off the season, you're a West Coast trip. You're also battling the Celtics and the Bruins, who are still number 1 and will likely finish number 1 going into the playoffs. They will have a hot streak unless the Bruins fall on their face again. They are facing an upward battle. There's nothing working in their favor for 2024 at this point.
No, there isn't. The only thing that could save them is if they get off to a hot start and somehow are able to, win a bunch of games and get people interested right away. And even then, I mean, you're right. You're going up against like the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoff. Like that's hard to do. Once the spotlight's really on them in June, which is generally when that happens, what are they going to look like? If they get off to a good start and by June they're in the race, or like if they're competing with Baltimore and Toronto and Tampa, whoever it is at the top of the AL East, I'd imagine one of those 3 teams, then that could be something. But it's just there's no expectation for that. There's no buzz for that. No one's thinking that's the way it's going to go. And frankly, I just don't think they're talented enough. I mean, the Orioles won 101 games last year. Like the top 3 teams in that division are really very strong. Even Toronto's a strong team. You have nowhere near the talent Toronto has. And, it's baseball. Things happen. Weird stuff happens in baseball, like I definitely understand that. And that's Sam Kennedy's thing. Basically, whenever they ask him about it, he's like, well, the only way to change it is to win a bunch of games. And it's like, yeah, Sam, no shit. if you win
it's that simple. I didn't realize that.
It helps to win
but
games?
It also
a starting rotation. Why don't you try investing in one?
The thing is, when the buzz and the vibes are this low, it takes that much longer for buzz to get created. The team actually does perform. Like, you guys remember how long it took people to buy in 2013? Like people didn't buy into that team until what, after the trade deadline? Like, but if you have a team that generates even a little bit of buzz, if they go like 20-12 in the first, I don't know why I picked a number, but 32 games, then you've got buzz. Then you've got people that care about the team. But there's so much going against them, and so much of that is self-inflicted because of how they've handled the offseason. Like for people like me, like I'm a psychopath. Like I understand that. Like I understand that almost there's no Sox fan that's going to be as idiotic as me with watching this team. Like I would watch them no matter what. Like at the end of the season, you have to find storylines. Pat kind of goes to your question that you had earlier with the storyline that he'd be excited about. Like you have to find that at the end. The start of the season is about blind optimism. The middle of the season is about trying to stay in contention so that the team can stick together. And the end of the season, when they're out of it, is about storylines. But the issue is if they fall out of it as quickly as I think people think they're going to this year, it's hard to watch the team every night based off of storylines for like 3 months.
Yeah. And, you mentioned 2013. It took a while with that team, and that was in the Ben Cherington era. And a lot of people were concerned that Ben Cherington era was sort of like this, but on a much smaller scale. Theo was gone, and there was this new direction, and it seemed like he was being a little bit more miserly. But you remember Cherington, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this was a while ago, but Hanley Ramirez, Pablo Sandoval, Rusney Castillo, he spent money. Like he spent way more money than they're letting Breslow spend. And, at the time it was thought that they were going in this whole new direction, and it was all about the prospects and, these small free agent signings like Victorino and Napoli and those guys. And, it ended up working, but at the time that's what people said about it. And that's why it took so long for fans to really get invested, because it seemed like there was this new direction. But, if you win enough games and you have David Ortiz in your team and whatever, then, you can come out of it on the other side. I don't know. I mean, I don't think this team has even a fraction of what the 2013 team had, and people weren't excited about that team. You're right.
All right, we know you got to get back to your family, Arcand. So I want to ask you one last question before we let you drop. Give us the record prediction. 162 games. What do you got? How many wins are they going to have this year?
So I was sort of intrigued to see. I don't know how much into gambling you guys are, but I was intrigued to see that they won 75 games last year, and the over/under on most books is like 79 this year, which I am very surprised by. I'm wondering what they know or what they think they know about this team or why they think it's going to be better. The only thing I can think is that up until like August, really the end of August, the Red Sox were in the mix for that wild card. It's not like they were, they never got there, but I think they got to like within a couple of games at some point. And, to be that this is the last wild card, but to be in the race that long into the season and then to completely fall apart like they did in September. I mean, September was ridiculous. There was no reason to watch them at that point. But, I think they're sort of looking at it mathematically and saying, well, the team wasn't great last year either. That was, with Justin Turner, and that was with Verdugo. That was with Chris Sale, who pitched pretty well last year. They replaced him with Giolito, who I don't like. And, I think the team's going to be worse. So I'm going to say win total 70 wins, 70 and 92.
70 wins.
I think they're going to be pretty bad.
70 and 92.
Yeah.
Wish us
you
luck.
guys have?
Oh, my God.
I actually think they're going to be better because the two biggest issues for me was Kike at short, who's the worst defender in Major League Baseball. Now you got one of the best defenders in Story. If he hits, just a little bit, great. And then Giolito, I know he's not great. I don't blame anyone who doesn't like him. But the bullpen got absolutely torched down the stretch, which probably the biggest issue on the entire team, in my opinion, were those guys running out of gas. And for all the issues Giolito has, the one thing he's great at is logging innings. So that helps a lot. But so I think they'll be better, but by like 2 games. It's still not going to be great. Like 80 wins, maybe. Not a great team, not the worst team in the league, not like the A's or the Rockies, but hopefully they're fun into September at least. That's where we're at.
By the way, I reserve the right to change my mind if they make any moves. I just don't think they're gonna. That's why I'm going.
Yeah, you have until opening day.
Yeah, I was going to preface. I said, as the roster currently stands, I was going to say like 78 and 84. I think they're barely better, but like
Again?
78 and 84. I'm telling you right now, 78 and 84, because as of right now, they changed names, kept the same talent. It's the same team.
You know what?
No, Pat, they lost their
you.
leader.
Wait, that's actually a storyline. If it gets down to the end of the year and they're around 78 wins, wait, am I crazy? That's been how many wins they've had the last 2 years, right?
I thought it was 75 last year.
No, 78.
I think it was 78.
Yeah, 70. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Either way, I know it was more than the in the predictions. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Has a team ever finished with the same record 3 years in a row?
78 wins.
Back when Chris Davis hit 247
Yes, that's what I was...
like 3 years in a row.
That was weird. That's got to be one of the weirdest statistical anomalies in sports, period. The 247.
Wild, man.
Yeah.
I was going to take 78.
It was 78 the last 2 years.
78.
Yeah. 2 straight 78 and 84 seasons.
Confirmed. So there you go. There's your storyline.
3
Three
feet.
feet.
Hang the banner.
That's going to be the intro to the Netflix doc.
A hunt for 78 wins.
That's like when the Bills
77.
3 Super Bowls in a row.
You're taking 77, Gordo?
I'm taking 77. Did you just say 75?
75. I think they'll be worse off this year than they were last year.
So we've got 70, 75, 77, 79, and 80. Book it.
Wow, I'm the highest? I'm usually the negative guy.
Sammy, you listed off a bunch of things that could be better, but the issue is this is just the same thing that it has been the last 2 years, where all of these things need to go right. And like, if one thing goes wrong, like last year, their pitching got hurt, and so they stunk.
Yeah.
It's kind of where again.
My 80 win thing is really contingent on Trevor's Story, like hitting a little bit and then staying healthy and continuing the defense. So that's not that crazy.
Fingers crossed, man.
I mean, I don't think it's crazy. The only reason why I'm skewing lower, not the only reason, but one main reason why I am is because it seems like all the players are pissed off. Like it seems like everyone's like in the beginning of spring training, and I get it. You know, your summer's over and you got to go down there, and everyone's all chubby, except for Giancarlo Stanton somehow. The only one in the history of baseball who didn't show up chubby to spring training. But aside from him, like all the Red Sox are kind of chubby and they're kind of pissed off and they're all sort of mouthing off about it. And I just feel like, you know, Cora doesn't really want to be there. It just seems like the checkout factor. The checkout factor is a variant that I think could really come into play this season. So that's why I'm skewing.
Red Sox
if the Red Sox had gotten Shohei Ohtani, how many less pounds would Rafael Devers have on him? I don't know if you've seen the pictures of him, but I feel like that's like he just lost motivation. He was like, I guess I'm not getting in the gym this winter.
Yeah.
Well, he's answering that question. It's like, if they don't care, why should I? I've already got my money.
Dude, he looks bad. Really bad.
Good year, Blue.
I figured he wouldn't look great when I saw that picture from 2 days ago. Oof, that's my DH, baby. Soon enough.
Your baby. Arcand, thanks a million, man, for hopping on with us. Play Tessie debut for you. Very
exciting.
It's got to be your highlight of 2024 so far. Probably hard to beat that one. So we'll be
Red
talking
Sox
about
highlight
about
of 2024
it'll definitely be the
man.
Red Sox highlight of 2024. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be any other ones. So, I'll remember this. And, hey, anytime you want to have me back on, give me a call. It's just fun.
For sure.
Always welcome, man.
Thanks, Arcand.
Big thanks to Arcand for jumping on with us, making his Play Tessie debut. As I said, probably the highlight of his year. And I was not talking about Red Sox. That is the highlight of anyone's year, jumping on with us. Let's be real here, fellas. Coop, Sammy, Pat, how you feeling? How's that? It's been like 10 minutes since we had that conversation. So how you feeling about the interest in the Red Sox?
Great year to get good seats.
SeatGeek's gonna rock. Actually, I take that back. Not that company. Any company that would want to sponsor us that does the secondary market, except Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster can kick rocks. Surprisingly, I didn't feel as bad as when I first saw that.
It's like one of those. He's talking about the conversation.
Sorry, there's sizzling going on behind me right now, and I had to
hear
mute
the
myself.
sizzle. I can hear the sizzle in the background.
I think it's chicken.
Sizzle.
It's ski fever.
Coop's cooking.
Here.
Coop is cooking.
I'm not cooking. Mama L's cooking.
Ooh, hi, Christine.
Hey, Coop, you're gonna make the listeners hungry with that sound.
Promo code something. Grubhub. Maybe Grubhub can sponsor us.
No.
Coop's Kitchen.
Yep. If you want food, go to the hub.
Coop's Kitchen.
No, not that hub.
If you're cooking chicken, it's Coop's
Cooking
Chicken
with Coop.
Coop. Chicken Coop.
Yeah, that's not the first time I've heard that. Nice try, though.
Did people like in second grade just he's like a chicken coop? That was like a second grade thing for you?
It was typically poop, but yeah, chicken coop. Also.
Poop. It rhymes with your name, you fool. Poop.
Cooper the super pooper scooper. Yeah, that was a good one.
So many poop jokes. This is great.
Yeah, but I'm feeling better about my Fenway experience than I am about the Red Sox after our conversation with Chris.
Oh, shut up.
Shut up about the Fenway experience, Coop. Get out. I can't with that term.
Hey,
Call it something else.
Gordo,
it's my
you
happy
can have
place.
a good time at Fenway. Yes. Call it. Just say
I'm
that.
going to my
Don't say
second
Fenway
home. I'm
experience.
going to my second home. That's how I'm going to refer to it.
Good.
We're not going to the Red
Good.
Sox this year. We're going to our second home.
I love
Your
that.
second home charges you per beer in the fridge.
Well, I don't really get charged when I go to Fenway because the credentialado. But
Wow.
Wow.
Look at this guy, Poop over here with his credentials.
Poop.
Pooping all over Fenway.
Poop's got his face on a sticker. It gets him free beers.
we'll get you. Well, all right. Well, you don't drink on the job.
Yeah. Of course. Yes.
But you guys might get all right, because we need a little dose of like happiness here. First day credentialed when we get you guys on the field. Who do you want to talk to first?
John Henry.
Pete Abraham.
We can make that work. We can make that happen. No, we can make that
nice
happen.
segue. You know who I want to talk to? This is a good segue. You know who I want to talk to? Jordan Montgomery.
There we go.
How we feeling about the betting odds, guys?
Not great.
Betting odds.
Oh, how about Peter Gammons? That was awful. Awful use of Twitter, by the way. The way he framed that.
Peter Gammons doing a terrible job of Twitter?
He goes, hold on.
Right.
Can I explain this? Can I explain what happened?
Yeah.
So I'm scrolling Twitter, and I see Peter Gammons post a link to something that says this one team is the head favorite for Jordan Montgomery. He just posted the link. And so I clicked into the link. Inside, it says that the Red Sox are the heavy favorite for Jordan Montgomery, 1-1 odds, and the next best odds were like 4-1. And I immediately, Peter Gammons tweeted the link. Gammons, if he does it, it's if Peter Gammons is backing it, it's legit. That's how because Peter Gammons is very tapped in. If he's backing it, like I have reason to believe that there's something to it. So I tweeted it, and the tweet is now out there. I look back on Peter Gammons' Twitter, and he tweeted the link twice. Once he tweeted the link one time with nothing, and that's the tweet I saw. But right before that, he tweeted the same link and said, look at this clickbait.
Wow.
So that's how that tweet, that's how the Jordan Montgomery bet odds came to be, was Peter Gammons potentially just making fun of clickbait. And now we've got Jordan Montgomery betting odds.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, if you listen to this show, you know that he is going to sign with the Red Sox eventually. But the 1-to-1 betting odds is a little nuts. If you're asking me, a little bit nuts. Is that a cat? A dog? Cat? Dog? Can't see. It's blurry.
That was my dog.
Nice.
Fiance just got home and
Shout out Chesty.
he had to run and go say hi. He's a good dog. He was sleeping on the bed.
But
yeah, John Heyman also today said that the Sox were talking to Montgomery 2 weeks ago, and basically nothing has happened since then. If you listen to the reports, kind of feel like everyone is in a stare down with Boris and all of his clients. It's just kind of like who's going to blink first. And my belief with this before was that the Red Sox were just on the periphery and that the Jordan Montgomery staring contest was happening between other teams, and Red Sox maybe were lurking if the market totally collapsed. But I'd figured at that point, once that happens, a team with a better chance to win would come in and get him. So the Red Sox really didn't have a chance. But if the Red Sox were talking to him 2 weeks ago, to me, that's newsworthy. To me, that 2 weeks ago, this after everything that has happened, like 2 weeks ago is still relevant today that they were talking to him. I don't know. Do you guys feel the same way, or is that just bullshit and like this is just kind of?
No,
you don't think it's anything?
No, I like what Carabas said. None of this matters. The only thing that matters is when John Henry gives his like thumbs up and says they can spend. I don't care when they were talking 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, last week, this week, next week. Doesn't matter. It's just a matter of bullying John Henry. Eventually, I think he'll cave. I don't think the time is relevant too much. So I'm just waiting on him to cave. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You think John Henry is going to cave? You think that's how you think this is going to play out? That John Henry is not going to cave, and it's not going to play out like Montgomery's market collapsing and him picking the Red Sox. You don't think that's how it's going to be
a combo? It's going to be John Henry's going to cave. His little he's going to find he has like one bone left in his spine, and he's going to be like, all right, this guy's price has come down. He's not a stuff guy. Not that John Henry thinks this deeply about baseball, but like, I feel like Montgomery's a guy you can sign and he'll age gracefully. There's nothing to say he won't. The way he pitches is so like conducive to being successful over a long term. So I think eventually somebody might talk him into it. Maybe every friggin' former, current, and future player on the Red Sox yelling at John Henry and all the media and all the fans yelling at him. Maybe that will get him to cave. But I think eventually he caves and gives Jordan Montgomery somewhere in between what he wants and what the Red Sox want. And then everyone will be happy for a few weeks, and then we'll be ready for games.
I'm the opposite of Sammy. I put absolutely no stock in them talking to Montgomery 2 weeks ago, because talking and making an offer are so different. Talking could have been, no market, you want a 1-year deal? Like, to me, that's probably what the conversation was. I put absolutely zero stock in talking to Jordan Montgomery until we have a report that there's a offer on the table, which I'd be shocked if there was.
Yeah, no, that's I agree. I agree, Pat. I don't think that the talking matters. I think that part's irrelevant, but I do think that John Henry will cave. I don't think that any smoke you hear about Jordan Montgomery, I take none of it into account. I just think eventually it's going to pop up on our phone. We're going to go, oh my God, it actually happened. And that'll be it. It's not going to be a buildup. It's not going to be, oh, stay up late. We're getting reports like the Xander signing BS. I think it's just going to happen out of the blue. Boom. And we'll all be super excited about it.
Call me nuts. I'm still not in the camp that they're going to sign him because I still just refuse to give this team the benefit of the doubt. But I am big on connecting tea leaves. And to me, if some sort of odds maker, I don't know, maybe they're just talking out of their ass, but oftentimes with these odds makers, there's a reason that there's a big jump like that. So when you mix that, the reports of them talking to Monty, Sam Kennedy coming in and just telling that Dustin Pedroia story, which like some people think is nothing. I don't know. I kind of, Coop said it a few times and I kind of side with you. Like, I just don't like, it would have been so easy for him to not say it. So a lot of things are happening would kind of predate a signing. I'm still not there, but I'm way more in the hopeful boat than I previously was. Like when the John Heyman and the Robert Murray streams were on today, I was listening sort of hopeful that would say that the Red Sox have been talking to Monty.
Yeah, I guess. I just like, I can't.
All right. So I brought up.
Good.
Coop, you go.
I brought up the tax payroll and where the Red Sox rank right now with how much room they have. $57 million to spend. They clearly have enough to spend on Montgomery. And with everything that Sam Kennedy is saying, and now that I think about him bringing up the Pedroia thing and how confident Papelbon is that the Red Sox still might do something, do you think they're in over? I'm going to use the skiing metaphor. Do you think they're over their skis right now? Meaning that they're way too confident in the fact that they can beat Boris? Because right now, Boris has, as you tweeted out earlier, Gordo, he's got 4 clients that are still out on the market that are high value and will get a ton of money. And I think they are very cool with playing the waiting game up until like opening day at this point. Like, I don't think either side is going to concede, and especially with John Henry's feelings about paying pitchers, I think that they drew a hard line in the sand. Everyone else at this point in the league is just kind of set on what they have for their 5-man rotation outside of the Yankees pursuing Snell. And I mean, the Rangers could swoop in and they could steal Montgomery, but
Phillies.
I'm at the point where I think, yeah, I mean, Lorenzen is still out there technically, correct?
Yeah, Lorenzen, and then
oh man, this is a delay.
So
it's gone to the point where
no, to answer your question, Coop, no, I don't think they're confident that they can beat Boris, to put it that way. I just think they don't care. I think they're looking at it as either Boris and his client Montgomery cave, or we proceed as we are right now. I don't think it's like, guys, we can do this. We can get this last piece. I think it's kind of like it just seems like they don't care. They're just like, whatever. If it works, great.
No, you're
if not,
right on.
Yeah. I don't think
Sammy,
think they're thinking of it in that. I wish they were, Coop, but I think they're just complacent now and they're like, whatever. If it happens, great. If not, fuck it.
Yeah. And honestly, that's if you exclusively want to only sign guys that cave to your price, like I guess that's the right mindset to have. It's just that big market teams, it's just hard to butt to that, fam. But I think you're right, Sammy. I think they have set themselves, like Coop, you point out the amount of space they have between where they're at luxury tax line, but to be frank, like the number that matters is not the luxury tax line; it's the John Henry tax line. He has set them a line. It doesn't feel like that line is coming from anyone but John Henry. It's becoming much better documented lately that it should not be Craig Breslow that you're pointing the finger at. It should not be Sam Kennedy. It should not be Tom Werner. It looks like it's John Henry. And they probably don't have much, if any, space to get to that line. So basically, to Sammy's point, I think it's either Jordan Montgomery comes down to meet their price where they could trade Kenley Jansen to open up money and sign him and stay under John Henry's budget line, or it's just not going to happen. And maybe it's like, I know the front office would like to do it, but I don't think ownership cares enough to increase their budget by a few $1 million just to make it happen. It's going to be, we're probably not making the playoffs anyway. This is what ownership thinks. So if that's going to be the case, then why should I increase my budget even a little bit?
Do we all kind of agree that it's one man that's the issue right now? It feels like we're narrowing it down, but I just want to see, are we all in agreement that this is the Red Sox have a John Henry problem? It's not, and I don't feel bad for ripping on Sam Kennedy and Tom Werner, but it more and more it seems like, okay, maybe they were duped too. Maybe they're kind of in our boat a little bit more than we think, and John Henry all along has been the problem and still is.
No,
Yeah,
Sammy, I completely agree with you.
Yeah. Like, I feel bad for ripping like Bloom. At the end of the day, Bloom couldn't get the job done, but Bloom also couldn't get the job done with the parameters of what was being said. I think Greg Breslow probably will meet an untimely demise the same exact way because it is John Henry's team and it is John Henry's money. And John Henry really likes his money more than trying to, I mean, like, you got to spend money to make money, my man. That's how you got Liverpool. Like we said this last episode, I don't want to go down this diatribe again. Like, it ultimately comes down to him signing that check.
Yeah, Coop, to your point about Bloom, like it's interesting being in the post Bloom era because seeing how things operate now, you can sort of see like all sorts of different fans and personalities had their own takes on Bloom and how the Red Sox were operating. And I think like people were right and wrong in a lot of areas. I never thought that Bloom was the problem. And I feel vindicated in that. I feel like I've been proven right there. But I also thought that the Red Sox had a pretty clear direction for a long time. And now I'm questioning that. And I think the people who were on and said this team has no direction have in a way been vindicated as well. So it's kind of interesting looking at it in the post Bloom era.
I mean, I don't know if I'd vindicate those people because up until this year, when Bloom was fired and Breslow was brought in and this limit was implemented publicly, I think there was a plan. I think there was a pretty clear plan, was to build a core, which I think they've done a decent job of, and build the farm, and then you supplement. And, that could happen next year. And
how can you give them the benefit of the doubt? How can you give them the benefit of the doubt?
No, I'm not giving the Red Sox the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying like Bloom and his plan, what he wanted to do, and like the front office, not ownership, like the front office guys who like who make moves and shit. That's what they wanted to do. But now it seems like ownership has stepped in and been like, nah, we're gonna change up your plan a little bit. So I felt like there was a plan. I still think there was a plan. It might still be, but it doesn't feel like it anymore. It feels like they're floating through space and just kind of whatever happens. We're making money. I think I saw today they're the third or fourth most valuable Major League Baseball team in 2024. So they don't give a shit. They're making money.
Yeah. I mean, I think that up until like I stand by why I believed there was direction, because to this point, every year anytime ownership took a step back, it would be to immediately jump right back forward the next year. They hadn't done it 2 straight years ever. So I think it was totally within reason to expect that to happen again. It hasn't happened again. We don't know exactly why that is. There's a lot of theories. Like there's a lot of new investments now that there weren't previously. Who the hell knows how that business as a whole is doing? We don't know why it's happening, but clearly something has changed because they have operated totally differently this offseason and within the last few years than they ever have. But let's move forward to some enough said. I think I'll go first because mine is baseball related, and I wanted to make sure we talked about it on this show because Brian Bayo told Mass Live the other day that he was discussing a contract extension with the Red Sox, and when asked if it was close, he said, he said it in Spanish, he said more or less. So that is like the closest we have seen to question, because I can't think about it off the top of my head. Outside of Garrett Whitlock, when was the last time the Red Sox extended a player with more than 1 year left on this contract? Can we think of anybody?
It's not Ref
Pedroia.
He had a year.
Yeah,
Pedroia.
Wait, did you say player or pitcher?
Player.
Any player.
Oh.
I feel like I'm missing some. Oh, wait. Xander had 1 year. Still had 1 year. Is it literally Dustin Pedroia?
Yeah, I think that's Pedroia. Maybe Poppy?
I feel like Poppy just kind of rode 1 year deals.
Yeah, Poppy was always like 1 to 2.
But even after the first one, he didn't get multiple years. Oh, well, actually, no, because that'd be off of a 1 year deal. Yeah.
But this is to my point, and like maybe we'll think something along the way, but regardless, like they never, for a team that says all the time how they want to do it and has seen it work for so many other teams, I think that them supposedly making progress with Brian Bayo on it is a good thing. It feels as though if the season starts and that contract extension isn't done, then like it feels like it's more likely that it's going to get done or rather than not. And if the season starts and he hasn't gotten extended, then we can kind of question like what the hell happened. I feel good that he's talking extension with them, and I feel good that it's not what Casas said, that there was nothing enticing, or what these guys have said in the past, which is that they haven't discussed extensions.
So, do you guys buy into any of it? Because we talked about this in the group chat when the Bayo news first kind of came up. I didn't get anything from Chris Cotillo's article. Like it didn't move it for me. Like nothing.
No, me neither.
I'm such at the point where it's show me the deal and then I will believe you. Like you can talk about like the Casas extension. You can talk about the Bayo extension. Until there is a contract that is actually out there, I don't believe a word of it. And it really kind of goes back to like Mookie at this point, the way I feel. Because at the end of the day, like we still really have no idea what happened with Mookie like extension talks. Like there's so many question marks around that where it's, hey, the Red Sox did talk to him, and Mookie saying, no, well, they never really came up to what I want. And then Mookie kind of coming around and saying, yeah, like they were in the ballpark, but I just wasn't ready to sign. And then the Red Sox also coming back and saying, we gave him exactly what the Dodgers gave him. Like, and then the Xander, like there's just so many instances of boy who cried wolf with the Red Sox with extension talks.
I understand why you'd want to wait, Coop, why you'd want to wait to like with the Red Sox, it's sort of everything that they've ever said they're going to do, or at least in the last several years, has come back to bite you if you've gotten extended prematurely. So I understand why you want to wait. But the way I see it is that the Red Sox are actually prioritizing something important. They've talked to Casas and they've made progress with Bayo. I want extensions with those guys to get done. You've got years to do it, but the earlier you get it done, the better deal you're going to get. So I feel good that their head is in that place.
Yeah, I don't. I need to see it, man. I can't give. Like, this goes back to what you said, Gordo. I can't give them the benefit of the doubt. If they're gonna dick around these guys and piss them off like they've done with multiple guys in the past, we're in the same spot we are now. So I have to see it, man. I can't. I'm done being hopeful for shit that might happen, knowing it's not gonna happen. Like Montgomery's my last one. Montgomery doesn't happen, I'm like full doomsday. So no, I don't think Bayo's going to get extended. I don't think Casas is going to get extended. I think they extended Whitlock and it didn't go too well right after the extension. So they're probably right now like, oh God, we don't want to mess anything up anymore. So when it happens, I'll be thrilled. If it happens, I'll be thrilled, but I'm not feeling it right now.
Let me ask you guys a question and we'll go around and then we'll move to whoever wants the next enough said. If they sign no more free agents, but they extend Casas and Bayo, give the offseason a grade and just give the offseason a grade.
C+.
That's generous. C-.
See, I'm at a
C-.
C minus. C-. I'm at a C- right now because I think the sale for Grissom trade was friggin' awesome, and people are gonna realize it eventually. Like that one, I give them so much credit for. I thought that was unbelievable. So
yeah, they prepared themselves to sign someone. They just didn't sign anyone.
Yeah.
I think the way where I stand there, and like I want to look at it from just a front office standpoint, because you have to look at it as if they've been given a budget and they can't get around it. So understanding that if they're able to do what they can and get a controllable second baseman and extend your young stars, I'd be willing to give the offseason as a whole in the B- range, just understanding that there wasn't that much they could do. And if I was looking at it just from a front office standpoint, without ownership being brought into it, just evaluating the front office doing what they did based with the funding that they've been given, I would give it a B+. Just because there's nothing they can do.
I can't do that. I mean, when you're about to punt for the third year in a row in the
no, but that's not on the front office. They have
I know.
It's like you have no money.
I'm grading the Red Sox. Breslow, I think, has done a very good job. Breslow's done a good job, but like it's a team effort, and right now the Red Sox stink. So I'm not giving them C-. I already feel is a little generous. D would be dramatic, which is why I'm still at C-.
That's where I am, man.
Yeah, but if they extend both guys, I'll go up to a C+ or one guy.
I think I'm at a D+ today, and if they extend both guys as a whole, I'd give it a C-. But Breslow himself could go higher. But whatever. Who wants to get enough said?
I didn't expect you to be the pessimistic one. I just want to say that.
We're switching it up today.
I go.
No, Gordo.
I feel like I was most optimistic. I think what they've done to this point is bad. But if they can make lemonade out of lemons here, and we don't have any money to operate now, but let's put the organization in a better spot moving forward and make sure that these guys are here to build on, then I think you have to give them credit. But until that happens, I agree. You can't give them credit for what hasn't been done. But who wants the next one? Someone jump in.
I can take it. Mine's quick. I just want to shout out at CBNLV. This guy cooked up the exact Breslow edit that I talked about last episode, with Breslow on the Joker walking out of Gotham Hospital with the bomb going off behind him. I mean, what a listener. Shout out Corey B. You're the dude. Thank you. Round of applause for Corey B.
Big shout. Big shouts. Love that. I thought that made my day when I saw that. That was good.
My enough said is not baseball related, which I normally do, I feel. Mine's about kiwis. I got some kiwis, and I feel like they're really underrated in the world of fruits. I also didn't know that you can just bite right into them. You don't have to peel them. I know some people peel them.
Prove it.
I already ate one today. They're kind of expensive. I'm saving these for tomorrow, but
he's lying. There's no way you can bite into that.
I'll send you guys. I'll take a video tomorrow and send it. You can post it from the Play Tessie official account. A video of me eating a kiwi. But dude, so good. They don't get enough love. I put them in the same category as like pomegranates. They just are underrated in the world of fruit, though they're very different fruits. But I feel like kiwis deserve more love, and I got some the other day, and I'm glad I did. Kiwis.
That's a good enough said.
Great
I don't
bird.
believe that you bite into that though. There's no chance.
Great.
I'll say video tomorrow morning. Just be ready.
There's skin on it.
Can you tweet it out from the Play Tessie account, like just zoomed in, you taking a chomp into it?
Yeah, please.
ASMR.
Please do. Oh my god, I hate ASMR.
Oh, ASMR haircuts. I love.
The only ASMR I like.
Barber shave.
Oh, that might actually be cool. The only ASMR I like is when Pat says Chris Murphy into the mic really close.
Haven't done that in a while.
Can we get one?
Chris Murphy.
I missed that.
All right. Yeah, that's my enough said. Kiwis deserve more love, and I hope you, if you're listening, you go out and you buy yourself a kiwi. They also kind of weird looking.
Speaking of kiwis, Excited for Liam Hendricks on the team.
No, he's
That's
Australian.
New Zealand, you idiot.
I'm gonna get ripped. First off, I call Northern Ireland. I'm in a
That and geography.
I'm in a geographical mess here.
Mate, he's not a Kiwi. He's from Australia, mate. Fucking skeets, mate. Speed again.
Coop, you got something?
Yeah, I feel so bad that I've been lagging this entire episode. Yeah, so I'm at altitude still in Tahoe, as we've mentioned. I don't know if this was a product of altitude, but I had a wild dream last night where I was just chilling out with Snoop Dogg and Dustin Pedroia. Wild combination. We were just walking around Fort Myers, just complaining about the team in general. It was like one of those dreams where you wake up and you're like, was that real? That was pretty vivid. So that's where I'm at.
What does it mean?
What
I don't
does
know.
that mean?
Maybe something happens.
You want to go to Fort Myers. You want to go to Fort Myers and get absolutely baked. That's what the dream means.
Not opposed.
I have an
Someone
idea.
wants to put the bill on that.
I have an idea. We need, and we all understand, we all recognize that the Red Sox are going to need to do some things this year to get fans in the seats. So someone was talking about the promotional schedule this year. I have another new idea for a promotion based off of that. A triple bobblehead. Snoop Dogg, Pedroia, and Coop. All in one bobblehead.
That's the Holy Trinity.
And Coop, you're in the middle, and you're holding a loaf of bread.
Yes.
I'm down. It's baked. Baking.
Yeah, it's baked. Snoop has a J,
baked bubble.
and Pedroia is just
Come
holding
on.
a bag. Yeah, I like it.
I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that. I had to get that out there.
I love that. Great dream. Any other final thoughts before I wrap this thing?
Kiwis.
Nope. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been episode 43 of Play Jesse. Appreciate Christian Arcand hopping on with us. That was awesome. That was super fun. Good conversation there. But before you head out, remember, wherever you're listening, Odyssey app, Apple, Spotify, hit that subscribe button, rate us 5 stars. The 5 stars helps us out. The subscription helps you out. You get those notifications when episodes drop, and that's huge. Check us out on YouTube as well. We're on the WEI page. We have our own playlist. Got it right. There's no stars there. Hit the thumbs up there and subscribe. Check out our mugs. We got good mugs. We look good. Remember, hit us up on the socials at PlayTessie on both Twitter and Instagram. But for Coop, for Sammy, for Pat, it's been Gordo here talking Sox on PlayTessie, episode 43. Toodaloo.